Okay, welcome back. Let's have a look at content. So, the content here, we have articles, and articles sit within categories. So what we're going to do, we can access it through here, but I like to access it through the menus as it keeps everything in one place. So if I click on content, we can see we have articles. Now, articles are sorted into categories. So let's have a look at categories first. So click on the word categories, and here we go. Now, categories, you'll see that we have things like caring for the carer, which are our top level categories. And then under that, we have, indicated by this dash, we have subcategories. Now, I've done this to make a number of the modules work more efficiently and to make things make more sense in the way the website runs. What is useful about this is that we can then set up modules just to show one of these categories, or in fact the right hand module shows the entire care for the carer with all of these categories within it. Now, these categories, we can see how many articles have been published, we can see how many articles have been unpublished, and we can also see how many articles have been deleted or trashed. Now, if I click on one of these, let's go Understanding HGG, what will happen is it will take us into the category options. Now, we can set a category description. Now, that category description will be what comes up above the actual category itself, and it lists the articles. To show you what that looks like on the front end, if I come up to here, where there is a preview, I can basically go open that in a link in a new tab. Got a new tab opening, we can see here. So if I'm on this tab, Understanding HGG, if I jump into here and go Understanding HGG, this is the front end and this is the back end. The front end, Understanding HGG, has a list of all the articles in this category, and you'll see there's nothing here at the moment. This is something we need to fill. So we can write something in here such as finding articles describing HGG is complex, so we have simplified it down into this set of helpful articles for you. Obviously that might not be the text we keep, but it'll do for the moment. Now, if I click the Save button, you'll see now it jumps us back in, says Saved, and if I jump over here, nothing has changed until I hit Refresh. And now we actually have a title in here. We can have images up here, we can have all sorts of things. This is quite useful because it was a great way to have an introduction or a header image, or say you might want to jump to these sections as well. Watch the section on links if you want to know how to do that. We have some options in here. Most of them you're not going to need to know about. In fact, don't worry about those options at all. This is pretty much all you need to know. This status over here, published or unpublished, will knock out the entire category if you unpublish it, and those articles will disappear. That's a good way of actually setting up a category for new things that you want to add in at a later date while you actually massage them and get them ready for publishing. Okay, so let's close this out. And that is categories. Now, we're going to go and look at articles now. The articles are these. So from the front end, they are these 5 articles that sit under the HGG category. If I go Content and Articles, it brings up our great big list. Now you see we have a lot in here. We can actually sort it into the top 200 articles, which it's done, and you see these are all the articles that I have transferred over from the PowerPoints into the system. There is a lot. Right, so first thing you need to see is you have this little status bar here. If I hit this, I can publish or unpublish it. If I hit this one next to it, it becomes featured. We're not really using that. And if I hit this, then I can put it into an archive or I can bin it. If I want to bin multiple things or unpublish multiple things, I can select them like so, go up to the top and hit unpublish, or feature, unfeature, archive, or batch. Batch basically lets you do multiple things at a time, but don't worry too much about it. Okay, so to actually see the articles themselves, what you might want to do is, how do we find an article? Well, we can go up to search tools, and from search tools we can say, well, show me anything that's not published at the moment. That will think about it, and it will show me this article which is unpublished. That might be something I'm working on. Or maybe I just want to go in and say I want to see all the stuff that's in changes to expect. Okay, there's our articles from changes to expect. To get into those articles, what we do is we click on the name of it, such as learning and memory loss, like so. And this one is a really bad example because it's just a tip sheet, but you'll see what we have is learning and memory loss. We can see that it's published over here, what category it sits in, public access, and then you'll see that we've got a couple of links and a bit of text. Down at the bottom there are some attachments. I will tell you about attachments in another video. So this lets us have a look at that. There's a whole bunch of options that you don't really need to have a look at. There's things about introductory images or images for full articles, which are more for a newspaper or blog style thing, which we're not using. Options, you can see here how it says use global. It's all set up in the back end from the administrator settings, so these things don't need to be changed unless you desperately want to, in which case send me an email. Publishing, again, you can set start dates, you can change who authored stuff, and you can tell it to appear or disappear. And then permissions, again, you can have a look at these, but this is all set in the back end for the super admin, so you don't need to worry about that because it's all set correctly. Finally, what you may notice is up in this top right hand corner we have a alias. Now the alias is an internal use thing. It'll automatically generate them, so you don't need to worry about changing that or editing it. Okay, once you've done with an article, hit save, save and close, or save and new, save a copy. Save a copy creates a new version. And that's much the same as users and categories. Okay, next video we will have a look at adding an attachment.